Well, hello again, everyone. This is Nurse Mo, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Straight A Nursing Podcast. This is episode 174, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the secrets of successful nursing students. So before I dive into that, I do want to take a quick moment for the listener shout out. And this one goes out to Jackie. And Jackie is actually talking about my planners, which are available now in our Etsy shop. So if you weren't aware, we make planners for nursing students. And Jackie says, your planners have helped me so much during nursing school. This is my second one, and it won't be my last. I love making lists, and your planner fits my life. Jackie, thank you so much for letting us know how the planners fit your life and how much you love making lists. I am a list-making fool. Raise your hand if you do something and look at your list, and if it's not on there, you write it down so you can cross it off. Totally do that almost every single day. So if you're looking for a planner that lets you make lots of lists, keep all areas of your life separate, school stuff, assignment stuff, home stuff, then check it out. I'll put the link in the episode notes so that you guys can go check that out. Okay, so we're talking today about one of the secrets of successful nursing students. So I have a free downloadable guide called The 20 Secrets of Successful Nursing Students, and I thought it would be really fun to talk about each of these on the podcast. So if you want to get that actual downloadable free guide, I will also include the link to that in the episode notes. So the first thing I want to just talk about is, what does successful nursing student even mean? So success means to me, and you tell me if you agree, but a successful student is not only the student that makes the grade, does well on their exams, rocks clinical, but also has balance, like not completely losing yourself in that entire process of nursing school, managing school in a way that fits your life, not in a way that completely takes over your life, right? So for that reason, the first secret of successful nursing students is that successful students take care of themselves. And you guys know I talk about this all the time, and that's because it's worth talking about all the time, because it is that important. So you probably thought I was going to say successful students study 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Absolutely not. While that might get you the grades that you want, how is that going to make you feel overall? Probably not too great. So I hope that that's not your idea of success. I really hope that your idea of success is not only doing well in school, meeting your goals there, but also doing well in your life. So here's what I see with students a lot of times, and definitely saw with myself when I was a student, is that you're starting out and you have such great intentions for how you're going to have great balance and all this, maybe not a ton of self-care in nursing school, but you're not, you don't start out just throwing everything out the window, right? As that schedule moves on, as that schedule gets more intense, the assignments pile up and the work feels like it's dragging on, you get tired. Like even the most energetic, robust, go-get-'em student could very easily get tired from the relentless schedule. And when you're tired, it's really easy to let things slide. A lot of times students will feel they have to study constantly. I've had students tell me they feel guilty if they don't stay up half the night studying. They feel guilty if they take a break to go exercise. And that's exactly the attitude and kind of belief system around what hard work means, and what hard work means must be sacrificed, that leads to nurses working while they're sick, Nurses skipping their lunch breaks, never taking their vacation days, burning out at the bedside. So I want you to have good habits now so that you can continue them, build on them, and apply them later when you're working as a nurse. So the secret is we are going to be successful and we're going to set boundaries and make our own wellness one of our very, very top priorities. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. And I know it's really easy to say, I'm going to take care of myself, but what about some actionable steps? Okay, you guys know I've got you covered because I love an action plan. So the first thing that I want you to do, I want you to think about as you're planning out how you're going to take excellent care of yourself is commit. I want you to promise, pinky promise, dedicate, whatever it is. I want you to make it a priority that you get enough sleep. No all-nighters. That should be a no-fly zone. No staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. to finish an assignment and then getting up at 6 to go to clinicals. Sure, once in a while, it might seem like you have to do it because things happen, right? Life is unpredictable. Nursing school is unpredictable. But if you're making it a habit and your standard method for how you get things done, how you manage your schedule, not getting enough sleep, cramming assignments, cramming for exams, doing things last minute in that way really causes a lot of stress, high potential to deplete your reserves. So how do you avoid doing those all-nighters or even staying up till 2 a.m. to get work done? Because yes, there is a lot to do in nursing school. The very first thing is exquisite time management. Notice I didn't say good time management. I said exquisite time management. We also want to avoid distractions. And it wasn't until I really started paying attention to what my specific distractors are that I realized, wow, I get distracted a lot. One day I was trying to get some work done on my, something for the website. I don't remember what it was, but I was on some kind of a deadline. And you guys know how much I love Oliver, but he was in a really needy place that day and kept coming into my office, kept like walking across my keyboard, wanting to interact. And I probably had to stop what I was doing like 10 times before I said, what am I doing here? I'm clearly getting distracted by this cat. I don't have time for that. So I ended up just dedicating like 15 minutes to giving him some attention. He was fine. He went off and napped. But if I hadn't have been clearly like consciously thinking about distractions, I would have probably just kept picking him up and moving him over to the other side of the desk and then repeat, right? I also notice I get really easily distracted by what's going on outside my window. Someone will ride by on their bicycle, or we live kind of in the country, so I'll see some turkeys outside and I just stop what I'm doing and watch them. So identify what distracts you. Maybe it's social media. Maybe your roommate's got the TV on and is watching their daytime soaps, and suddenly you're really interested in what's happening on The Young and the Restless or whatever. Is that show still even on? So avoiding distractions, whatever they are for you, right? It's very individual. So the first thing is identifying what those are. So over the next day or so, as you're doing work, as you get distracted, I want you to notice what was it that pulled your attention away. Okay, and then you can kind of make a plan to mitigate that. Avoiding procrastination is another way that you can avoid pulling all-nighters, staying up super late, and not getting enough sleep. And that ties in with exquisite time management as well. And of course, working very efficiently. And we're going to talk about kind of all of these as we go through all the 20 secrets of successful nursing students, but I want them to be kind of in your head as you get started on some of the self-care stuff. So getting enough sleep is huge. The other really big one is eating well, okay? Eating foods that nourish and support you not foods that you might think you want, like Dots pretzels. Don't ever buy those, you guys. They are the most addicting food substance on the planet, and I'm just going to save you a lot of trouble right now. Do not get those. But sometimes I think, oh man, I could go for some Dots pretzels. That's what I need right now. No, what I need right now is probably an apple and a big glass of water. So healthy meals that support your brain function, support your body function, support you nutritionally are going to help you so much more than just grabbing a quick snack. I know we often think I've got to get something quick because I've got to get back to work. Quick does not have to mean unhealthy fast food or something in a package. Quick could be an apple with some almond butter. Quick could be a banana, right? Quick could be the hard-boiled eggs that you prepared earlier this week. Like, you can make time and make a plan for quick foods to grab on the go. So don't come up with, a new plan every week. Don't reinvent the wheel all the time. Have a list, have some go-to meals, some go-to snacks that you can easily reach for that nourish and support you, okay? So again, nature's fast food, basically fruits, bananas, apples, and my big favorite, almond butter. Okay, another thing is to get exercise. You guys knew I was going to say this, and I know you were probably dreading it because, sometimes we don't think we have time to exercise, but it is absolutely so key. Your brain is going to function so much better if you get some exercise. Your mood is going to be so much more elevated if you get some exercise. And even just 30 to 45 minutes a day could help tremendously. And if you don't have 30 minutes, then it's time to go and look at your time management. And I'm not saying you're not managing your time well, but what are you prioritizing? Is there a way to prioritize things differently so that you can get 30 minutes, like a 30-minute walk? That would be fantastic. Every time I go for a 30-minute walk, I feel amazing when I'm done. Like, I can do anything. And it's all about how we prioritize our time. And I know you guys are really overwhelmed by your schoolwork and the amount of reading. That's probably one of the things that new students are so gobsmacked by, is the amount of reading that is assigned. We're going to talk about how to tackle the reading in another one of these episodes, but I just want you to know that if you do feel like you have to study while you exercise, you can listen to this podcast. You can record yourself reading your notes and listen to that, okay? So there are ways to kind of double up on things so that you can get more done. Ideally, I want you to exercise while you're just thinking about nothing, which would be great, or listening to a fun audiobook or your favorite music or the sounds of nature. But if you have to study and review, pop in the podcast and I've got you covered. The last pillar of nursing school wellness that I want to talk to you guys about is, and it's not super exciting, hydration. So your brain is mostly water. You know that. I know that. But when we're tired, what do we reach for? Like, I know what I want to reach for when I'm tired, and that's my third favorite beverage in the world, which is coffee, right? So my first favorite beverage in the world is probably wine, and then my second one would be water, and then coffee would be my third. Coffee is not going to help you that much when you're feeling tired. You might get an initial caffeine boost, but is it really a boost, or is it just you're amped up for a little bit and then you feel jittery and then you crash? Water is actually going to help your mental focus. It's going to help your clarity. It's going to help your productivity. Successful students drink more water than they do caffeine. So the next time you feel that slump, I want you to try a little experiment. I want you to drink a glass of water before you reach for the coffee, and then see if you even need the coffee or the energy drink. Chances are, maybe you won't, okay? And I'm not saying don't drink your coffee, you guys. You know how much I love my coffee, but drink your water before the coffee, okay? So, what is your action plan for tackling this priority of taking care of yourself in nursing school. So if you download that 20 Secrets of Successful Nursing Students guide, you'll see there's some space there for you to brainstorm some ideas and put together an actionable plan that works for you, thinking about some ways that you can commit to taking really great care of yourself during nursing school. And then there's space for you to, jot down what the steps for that are and the date you're going to actually commit to doing them. So, for example, one idea might be that you're going to prep and freeze 20 meals, so 20 individual meals before classes start. So 20 days throughout the semester when it's getting real and you don't have a ton of time to cook or prepare a meal, you can reach for something that's in your freezer and have a good whole foods delicious meal ready to go. So the action steps for that might be to identify the recipes that you want to make. Maybe it's 4 recipes that make 5 or 6 servings each, right? I'm not saying make 20 individual recipes. I would not ask anybody to do that. But maybe it's 4 different recipes. They each make 5 or 6 servings. Bam, you've got your 20 freezer meals. My next action step would be, I'm going to go shopping for these ingredients. What day am I going to do that? The next action step would be, I'm going to spend the afternoon meal prepping. When am I going to get that done? And then I would have my action plan for how I'm going to take better care of myself nutrition-wise in nursing school. Or maybe my plan is I want to walk for 30 minutes after dinner every day, which is a beautiful way to wind down, promote digestion, kind of clear your mind before an evening of studying. So my action steps for that might be, I'm going to determine where I'm going to walk. I'm going to figure out a 30-minute path through my neighborhood. Make sure I have, my walking shoes. Identify an audiobook that I want to listen to while I'm out walking, or take the dog for a walk. And then enjoy my guilt-free 30-minute break after dinner. Maybe I plan to go with my partner or my kids, and we have family time and connection time while we do that. So, do you see how easy that is and how we can do things that fit into your life so that nursing school isn't taking over absolutely everything? It is a big deal. Of course, nursing school is a big deal. But when you make it a bigger deal than it is, it will take over your life. And I don't want you to give nursing school that much power. I want you to be the one with the power. Okay, you guys? So that is tip number 1. I know it might seem like Captain Obvious over here, but it's so vital and it's so very important. So I want you guys to download that 20 Secrets to Successful Nursing Students guide. I'm going to put a link to that in the episode notes, and you can go through that and make plans for how you're going to tackle nursing school with that success mindset of balance and you being in control of nursing school. So next week, you guys, I have something super special for you, which is a pod quiz episode. And I haven't released a full pod quiz episode in a while. I know a lot of you are looking for a way to study on the go, so this could be a potential way that you could study while you exercise if you absolutely feel like you have to. So pod quizzes are basically flashcards for your ears. So in a pod quiz, I ask a question, I pause for a little bit to give you time to think about and say the answer, and then I tell you what the answer is. They're extremely popular. People love them. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you might have heard at the end of some episodes, I'll do a few pod quiz questions. That's exactly what it is, except this will be a whole episode of a pod quiz. So it'll dive deeper into the topic. And that is exactly what my Study Sesh podcast is all about. It's my private members only podcast, and it is all about the pod quiz. There are some other formats. It's mostly pod quizzes. So if this method of studying speaks to you, and I can't wait for you to see it next week in action, then you're going to want to check out Study Sesh. So I'll link to that in the episode notes as well. And next week, we'll be going through that pod quiz, and it will be on cardiac pharmacology. So that's a really good subject to quiz yourself on because it can be a little bit tricky. So I will see you back here next week. We will pod quiz our way through cardiac pharmacology. See you then. This podcast is brought to you by Straight A Nursing.